You ever wonder why it seems like the rich just keep getting richer? While for so many of us, it feels like we're just trying to keep our heads above water. It's a huge question, and today we're going to pull back the curtain and really get into the secrets of wealth.
So let's just get right into it. Why do the rich get richer? I mean, it's a question that can feel super frustrating, right? Maybe even a little mysterious. But what if I told you the answer isn't really about luck or greed or some hidden conspiracy? What if it's just about understanding a system?
Because that's what we're really talking about here. This isn't just a question about dollars and cents. It's about understanding the basic mechanics of how wealth is actually built and how it grows over time.
And that is the first big idea to let sink in. Building wealth, it's not magic. Nope. It's a set of principles, a series of mechanics that, honestly, anyone can understand. And in this explainer, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to unpack those mechanics one by one. Okay, so let's dive into the first, and you could argue the most important secret of them all. It all comes down to this: understanding the massive difference between two very different types of money. Let's start with assets. So what is an asset? Put simply, an asset is something you own that has the potential to make money for you. It's a resource that's out there working even when you're not. Think of it not just as something you have, but something that is actively doing something for you financially.
And this right here, this is where it all starts to click. On one side, you've got income. That's what you make from your job, right? You trade your time for money, it's active, it's usually pretty linear, and it's what you use to pay the bills. But assets are what you own. They aren't tied to your time, they can make you money while you sleep, that's passive income, and, this is huge, they can grow in value all on their own. The whole game changes when you shift your focus from what you make to what you own. That is the foundation.
So, once you start getting some assets, how did they actually grow? What's the engine that turns a small pile of money into a much larger one over time? Well, that brings us to our next big secret.
The engine that drives this entire wealth-building machine has a name: compounding. It's one of the most powerful forces in all of finance, and it is responsible for creating pretty much all of the great fortunes in the world. And the best way to picture how this works is the snowball effect. Think about a small snowball at the top of a snowy hill. At first, it's tiny, but as it starts to roll, it picks up more snow, and it gets bigger. And as it gets bigger, it picks up even more snow with every single rotation. That's compounding. Your money earns a return, and then your money plus that return earns another return. The cycle just keeps going, and the growth doesn't just stay steady, it speeds up, it accelerates.
You know, this concept is so powerful, it's often called the eighth wonder of the world. And this quote just nails its dual nature. If you understand it and you use it by owning assets, you earn it. But if you don't, you usually end up paying it on things like credit card debt or loans. It's a force that is always at work, one way or another.
But look, just knowing the mechanics, knowing about assets and compounding, it isn't quite enough. There's a psychological piece to this whole puzzle, a specific mindset that lets you put these incredibly powerful tools to work over the long haul.
So this wealth mindset, it really stands on four main pillars. First, like we've been saying, it's all about focusing on acquiring assets, not just chasing a higher salary. Second, it's about prioritizing long-term growth, having the patience to let that snowball build for years, sometimes even decades. Third, it's understanding that risk and reward are connected. And finally, it's a commitment to always be learning, to always be deepening your understanding of how all this stuff really works.
All right, so we've covered the mechanics and we've covered the mindset. Let's connect all these dots and put it all together into one clear, cohesive picture that you can really take away from all this. So here they are, the three secrets, right out in the open. First, the distinction, truly getting the difference between what you earn and what you own. Second, the engine, putting your assets to work with that incredible power of compounding. And third, the mindset, having the patience and the focus you need to see it all through for the long haul.
See, it really isn't magic. It's just mechanics. And now that you understand them, I'm going to leave you with a final thought to chew on. If these principles are actually so straightforward, what do you think is the single biggest barrier that stops most people from ever putting them into practice? That's something to think about.